Hey guys, Admiral 725 here, and this is me going to be doing an awesome review of One Piece manga chapter 650. Now, before I get on to the review, I like to just address that I usually go from the least favorite manga, well, in my opinion, what happened on that week, from the greatest. So, like Bleach, I did first because I thought it was an okay chapter, nothing big happened, except for Angel probably dying, and that was it. And pretty much about the Nine Tails, being soft. Nine Tails was a good chapter of Naruto, and also that the two tail beasts, eight tail and nine tail, were communicating telepathically. So that was really interesting, and it was a really good chapter. Now, One Piece, was a great chapter, like an awesome one, as far as detail and explanation. And I think some of our questions have been answered of what these big guys been doing for the past 2 years. So here's the review. At first, it starts off as King Neptune with Nico Robin talking about, Shirohoshi being the Poseidon, and pretty much there are three basically ancient weapons. There's the Plat Platon, um, Uranus, and Poseidon. Oh yeah, well correction, Pluton. Um, and pretty much they kept King Neptune kept talking about years ago, you know that there were powers that could destroy the world and that exist at the time of all those years ago. And that's when Nicaron explained about the three ancient weapons, and that Shirohoshi is one. And for my thought on that is, since if people ever find out that Shirohoshi is this kind of weapon, and since the world government has this big thing about weapons, trying to conceal this information from everybody else, then Shirohoshi will obviously become a big threat and should be seriously in danger throughout the world. That's what I think about that. And it could be, I don't know, just my opinion, that I think it could be a huge chance that Shiroshi could be, the next Straw Hat member. But that's just me. So after that, we see Karibu, um, pretty much eavesdropping on their conversation. He was in that liquid form since he's a Luca type user. Um, and then he gets so anxious, well not anxious, but intrigued about this information that he's hearing from Nico Robin and King Neptune. And then it shifts on to the next scene where Luffy, during in the party, he was pretty much Luffy just eating, and this is funny, and Luffy's like, "Hey, what y'all guys doing all over there?" And then we see Zoro sleeping, Nami, she drank too much, Usopp ate too much, and pretty much Sanji lust too much, which that was pretty funny, very hilarious. And then Jinbei was telling Luffy that, you know, there's something I need to tell you that you need to know ahead of time. And so pretty much the crew is there, well, most of them is there in the conversation, hearing about what Jimmy has to say. And so he explains about 2 years ago, sometime after the war, directly, that Goku, the former Fleet Admiral, dropped down his position. As we all remember in the war, Sengoku was the Fleet Admiral, and he dropped down his position and chose Akoji as a more recommended candidate to take that position. But what happened was that Jinbei revealed was that um, a lot of people in the world government, saw Akainu as a candidate as well. And this, for me, reveals the history of Okaji and Akainu, and that Okaji, didn't like Akainu, being a candidate. So those two oppose each other. And then Jinbei further explains that they go on a certain island that happened 10 years ago. Well, not 10 years ago. Sorry, scratch that. Um, they had been battling for 10 days. And pretty much we saw this in the picture. We saw Okaji ice this way in the surrounding, and Akainu manga on this side. Sorry, magma. And that was, I saw that. I was like, well, I didn't think that these two great powers of the within the marine could go against each other. And at first, though, when I saw the Marine World War, I saw a hint that could, lead to betrayal of the Marines, like with Akainu and Kobe. Kobe told the guys to stop after he used that Heiki, the Kenbunshi Hoku Heiki. And that point was showed a little bit, for me saying, okay, maybe the Marines do have things against each other as the terms of justice. Okay, so anyway, back to the chapter. And then pretty much Jinbei reveals the winner who won this crazy battle uh, for 10 days, and that they were all equal, wonderful opponents at that level. And Okachi, no, not Okachi, Akainu was the winner of that battle. And I was like, whoa, seriously? I was like, dang, that was like, I couldn't believe it. It was crazy. And then Luffy goes back and touching his scar that he received from Akainu, saying Akainu, like, because he was the guy that he's the reason why Ace is not there anymore. It's not living. So then another interesting fact was that Jinbei continued on his conversation, and pretty much Blackbeard um, is now a Yonkou. And I was like, oh snap, Blackbeard a Yonkou now? So he's one of the four powers, the strongest pirates in the world, along with Shanks, Big Mom, and Kakazu. Not Kakazu, I forget his name. The guy that tried to infiltrate Shanks during, in the war, but he failed. And now you have Blackbeard. So Yonkou has gained back a member that died, and now has gotten another one. I was like, wow, this is crazy. Um, and pretty much Luffy after that was walking away. Like, he wasn't at that time. He wasn't really that interested. He was just eating more food. And he's like, this food is great and all. And Jinbei was like, Luffy, what, like, come on, you need to listen, man. You're the captain. I mean, you're responsible for your crew's life and that, and that and stuff. And then this is another interesting fact that I come across. That Luffy was saying to Zoro and Sanji, have y'all guys hear a wild animal in this castle? Oh, sorry, do you sense a wild animal in this castle? And then Zoro and Sanji like, oh, now you mention it, I do. So that does kind of, I don't know, it probably reveal or confirm that Zoro and Sanji may have the Shihoku Heiki. Like, I don't know. That's another interesting fact I found out, observed or analyzed in this chapter. Um, so then we see in the next page that um, Kurubo is trying to kidnap Shirohoshi, and he's saying, you call my bros, and that you're going with the new world with me, and Luffy comes up, Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji come up, and pretty much, punch away Kurubo really hard, and I was like, that's what you get. You shouldn't have done that. Okay, and then the soldier, Neptune soldier of the right, I believe, the guy that's the right, that looks like Hachi. He was saying that I'm sorry that someone, kept creeped up in here in the palace, without knowing. And then another funny scene was when um, he was like, then who was he then? And then the starfish, I forget his name, he was saying that no, this guy cut down the little portion of this the palace, and Zoro hit him in the head. It was like, yeah, let him blame the thief. That was funny. And then we see pretty much Hody and his the new fisherman pirates are kind of old, and I think that has to do with the side effects of those steroids, that those energy steroids they've been taking, at that time. So pretty much their ultimate plan was an ultimate failure. He had to look down on Hody, which a lot of people. That's why a lot of people are thinking that Hody was not a good character. Well, a bad, no, not character, like a villain. So pretty much after that, oh crap, okay. Um, the big we got another soldier that was talking to one of the guy for the left was saying that Big Mama, wants Big Candy and that their guys were there at some point, and it was like, well, this is Big Mama, she's the one, or he or she is the four emperors, and you, she would, or he or she would destroy an island just for candy. So I think that was, well, I don't know, maybe that emperor is probably evil. Like I don't know, there's not much about her. I'm guessing it's a her. Um, that's yet to been realized. But other than that, that was the end of the chapter. A good chapter, nice intel. I love it. Um, with two deep conversations that could be more helpful in the overall storyline about Shirohoshi being Poseidon, Blackbeard being in Yonkou, and the most amazing one, the 10-day fight of Akainu and Akoji. And Akainu won, and pretty much um, Akoji left the Marines because he couldn't stand Akainu. And so I think Akoji is probably a pirate. Who knows what he's doing? But this is Outdoor Scene 5. Catch you guys later. Peace.